is Anne Nielsbøl. I'm a Danish artist and curator, and I'm curating this exhibition Paper Across Cultural Voice with 7 artists from India and 6 from Europe and United States. And it is to show the global interactive collaboration between artists from many parts of the world who have that in common, that they are all using handmade paper as an artistic means of expression. So it's not artwork on paper, but it's artwork with paper. And it started in 2019, where I noticed that more and more Indian artists have started to use handmade paper as artistic means of expression. So I made a questionnaire and sent it to those 8 artists I selected, and they all answered. And what struck me was that none of them had learned paper making in India, but they had learned abroad, either in the West or in another Asian country. Further, it struck me that craft, you have beautiful craft forms in India, but paper ranks on the lowest, where textile ranks the highest. And that surprised me, because Indian handmade paper was a highly respected craft in the 15th, 16th century. At the same time, it was also highly respected in Europe, because we had the Renaissance where Leonardo da Vinci, he used handmade paper. And handmade paper is invented in China, went over Korea to Japan, and it took 1,000 years before it reached Europe, but also 1,000 years before it came down to India. So the exhibition's goal is actually to push the limit of this media, because I think it needs more respect in India. And you will notice if you visit the exhibition that there is a difference between the art made in India and the art made in Europe. It's the Indian artists are all taking their starting point in their own experience with their families, for instance, the work groups, or their own history of migration, and the miniature, which here is made in 3-dimensional form. Whereas the Western part, they are more refining the concepts of how can we stress and use the plant, cultivate it extremely much so it becomes transparent or hard as stone, or recycle it into furniture, which is also, we have an example. So it's different expressions of what can paper do. So it's more about the variety of examples showing what paper can do than actually just about me or her or he. And it is to inspire the Indian audience. And my hope is that more and more Indian designers, artists, and architects can see the possibilities in this medium. Because we live in a 21st century where biodiversity and sustainability and climate crisis are going on. And cellulose is a very popular and popular medium or ingredient to form multitudes of expressions. And artists working with handmade paper use plants with respect. You know, if you take a plant, you have to plant a plant. So all this circular system, ecological awareness is in paper making.
Hi, my name is Shantamani Udaya. I'm from Bangalore. मैंने आर्ट तो बड़ौदा MSU से सीखा. तब से I'm actually working with paper and charcoal. For me, charcoal is a very interesting material. It also kind of talks about the issues that we are dealing with today with global warming. Charcoal is also a nice metaphor because it's neither a tree nor an ash. It's an in-between space. It explains many aspects of that we experience on daily life in the urban spaces in India. For me, paper is a very interesting material because apart in Asia, where paper was explored, and India makes its own kind of handmade sheet on handmade paper for a very long time now. And I happen to have a chance to learn paper making through an artist in Glasgow through Charles Forrest Fellowship. Thereafter, I learned how paper can also be manipulated apart from just painting on top of it to make sculptures. That's how I started making paper. It's interesting for me that post-independence India, that paper was revived in Khadi Gandhi ashrams. The first handmade paper I saw probably was in Ahmedabad in paper making unit in Gandhi ashram. From then on, I've been working with paper, and we are in the cusp of this culmination of the knowledge of paper making from from east going into west, and then learning certain kind of things from west and bringing back into the art world here. So this is my journey, and Anne was doing a research on paper 2-3 years ago, and that's how I met her. And this particular show really emphasizes on this cross-current exchange of knowledge on paper making. I'm very happy to be part of it, and I'm very happy to be here in Ahmedabad, where I actually picked up the handmade paper first in my career. So it's kind of a circular pattern that I'm happy to be here today.